What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the As Told by Indi podcast, where these are life lessons learned by me. Now, today's a little bit different, and I'm so excited because I think that life lessons should be learned by everyone, and there are lessons that I have yet to learn that others have learned. So today, I have with me a special guest. I have Miss Suzanne Peters. Say hello to everybody.
Hey, hello.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for coming on. So Suzanne is a motivational speaker, an author, a manifesting coach, and a business coach. And I'll let you guys know a little bit about her. For years, she felt stuck in a life that she hated. She had no money, no job, no friends, really nothing to look forward to. But she knew she wanted to be happy and fulfill greater purpose. And today, we're definitely going to get into that and talk about it. She also founded Woman to Woman International Network, which is an online empowerment platform for women whose mission is to empower women with a space and international platform to share their message, their story, and their expertise. Woman to Woman also hosts curated empowerment platforms and conferences each year to give small businesses grants and supporting women in starting their own business. Woman to Woman has also built themselves on the belief that when women support each other, we all win. So once again, a big welcome to Miss Suzanne Peters.
Thank you, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. And that intro sounded like wow. I was like, okay.
I'm a cheerleader by heart. I love supporting, especially women. I can't help but to cheer you on because I love the work that you're doing.
I love the
So
energy.
let let's get into about your story. I mean, you were saying you had no money, really no one to turn to. Talk to me about that, and more specifically, tell us about when you had that epiphany moment when you realized that you could create the life you wanted.
That epiphany moment literally happened at my worst, lowest point ever. Let me put it like that.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was one night I got so frustrated, so tired of everything going wrong in my life. I had already divorced my previous husband from an
Mm-hmm.
abusive relationship. I tried with someone else. They cheated on me and treated me so horrible. So naturally, I didn't love myself anymore because I felt something was wrong with me. As if that wasn't enough, my business that I had been struggling with for the past 2 years failed. Everything went under. I lost everything. My vehicle was repossessed. My furniture
Mm-hmm.
that I was still paying for was repossessed. I was asked to leave my apartment. Well, that is a nice way of saying I was evicted. But it was literally at that point one thing after the next. And I got to the point where I just couldn't handle it
Mm-hmm.
anymore. One night, I found myself sitting on the floor in my bedroom, what would have been my last week in that apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized what I was actually thinking about, I was trying to decide the best way to take my life. I was
Wow.
like, I have my mother and three sisters. They wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
understand. You know what? If I have to do this, it has to be in a way that it wouldn't damage them too much. But all I knew is
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to live anymore. But yet I found myself thinking about the people I cared about. While
Mm-hmm.
this is something a lot of us tend to do, and it's something I was doing at that point in time. While in that depressive state, I was listening to more depressive music on YouTube. And I didn't have any Wi-Fi of any internet of my own, so I was using my neighbor's
Mm-hmm.
Wi-Fi. Now, just like that, out of nowhere, the Wi-Fi went out. And because of the mood I was in, I just didn't get up to change it or do anything at all. I just stayed there.
Mm-hmm.
But when I finally decided, you know what? Maybe I should just challenge a bottle of bleach. Now I had already, yeah, that's the state my mind was in. I had already searched my entire apartment looking for pills. For someone who always had pills, I felt it strange that I didn't even find two. I
Mm-hmm.
found one pill in an empty bottle. One, which was strange for me because I always had pills. Then I was like, you know what? I'll just challenge a bottle of bleach. I mean, worst case scenario, At least I'd leave a pretty corpse. I mean, when you are in that state, there's so many different things that goes through your mind
Right.
that you just can't
I'm
understand.
sure.
But
Mm-hmm.
at the moment when I was trying to actually finalize my decision, no, I was actually having conversations with myself, deciding what would be the best thing to do. It was as though God himself had entered my room that night. I felt a cold breeze and felt the cold of the tile for the first time while sitting on it. And out of nowhere, YouTube just came back on. But instead of the depressing music I was listening to before, a less strong speech came on. And I was like, oh, I haven't listened to him in years. I mean, literally
Mm-hmm.
years. So there was
Mm-hmm.
no reason for that to be playing. But of course,
Right.
I didn't want to get up. So I just sat there, and eventually it was enough to distract my thinking.
Uh-huh.
When that happened now, and I started actually paying attention, it
Mm-hmm.
went off. Then was The Secret. At the time, I didn't know they were talking about The Secret, but it was a promo for The Secret that came on YouTube. And I was like,
Mm.
okay. Then I got up, went over to my
Mm.
phone, and I scrolled, and I did some digging, and I just listened and just got all caught
Yeah.
up. I had nothing else to do. So I was still sitting on the floor, got up, I was just sitting on another side of the room, you know? And while there, like literally sitting there, going through,
Mm-hmm.
listening to all this stuff on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, interesting. And that was all it took.
Wow.
Interesting. After that, no, I'm serious. I was literally like, interesting. But then that led to something else. Because
Mm-hmm.
after a couple of hours of just going through YouTube, listening to people's story, people who had found themselves at that store, people who had found themselves at their last, and
Right.
somehow managed to turn their life around completely. Naturally, I wanted to know more. And I kept
Mm-hmm.
digging and I kept digging. I barely got any sleep that night. If I got 2 hours sleep, I got plenty. But when I woke up the next morning, my first thought, I got down on my knees and I thanked God, because I knew
Mm-hmm.
what happened the night before, it was him. I knew that for a fact. I got down on my
Mm-hmm.
knees, I cried, I thanked him for that interjection. I said, Lord, I know what you want me to do now. From that day
Mm-hmm.
forward, even though I still had nothing, I dove headfirst into the world of self-help, into the law of attraction, into
Wow.
manifesting. I started intentional journaling. And would you believe, this is not no if, no buts, no maybe. In
Mm-hmm.
1 year time, I went from lonely, broke, frustrated, no money, unhappy, to thriving, own business, own house, own vehicle, man of my dreams. Everything changed around with
Wow.
one decision. So when I see and hear people now thinking, oh, this is the last, I can't go on, I can't do anything,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, no, you don't know what you say. you know,
Yeah.
but it's just so amazing that we can get to that point where we are ready to give up on ourselves when there's so
Right.
much more in store out
Right.
there for us. There's
Right.
so much more. And all it takes for us to be willing to just one more move, one more try. I could have stayed sitting where I was sitting that night. I didn't have to get up
Mm-hmm.
and touch my phone or go through anything. I could have stayed stuck in my thoughts. But I opened my mind to what was playing and started paying attention. And then that made me question and say, what if these people could do all these amazing things, why can't I
Mm-hmm.
do that? Why can't
Wow.
I transform my life? I didn't want to die. I just didn't want to live like that anymore. And I'm the
Mm-hmm.
eldest of 4 girls. So you know how difficult
Really?
it is to make any kind of decision that has to do with giving up. Because your siblings that are younger than you, oh my word, they listen, pay attention, follow everything you do. Even though they are adults, they still do it.
Yeah, it's still that I look up to you. I had a conversation with my sister about that just recently. It's so interesting because my sister, she's older than me, but we always joke and laugh and say that I'm the one that quote unquote they look up to. So my sister, she told me that she watches what I do. And I was like, you do? And she was like, yeah, actually all the time. Because it's when you feel inspired by somebody and when you feel as though that person that you admire is also getting the results that they want, that's something to look up to, especially if it's positive. You know what I mean? So I can definitely understand being the oldest and having that weight of leadership, basically.
It's a weight.
You know what I mean? Yes, absolutely.
That's how it all began, basically. That's how it all began.
Wow. So in your work with being a manifesting coach and being a coach in general, and also with woman to woman, what do you think is maybe like the number one or number two things that you notice that we as people, or we specifically as women, do to hold ourselves back?
Wow, that is a very broad question, but I do have some points to give you. And it's these simple things people don't realize. You know, the number one reason, I would say, in my opinion, the number one reason women or people out here don't get what they want, because they don't know what they want.
What? I was like, wait, I'm like quiet. I'm like, I'm intrigued.
But it's true. They don't know what they want. I have had clients I've been coaching, and at the start of my sessions, I would do, okay, we need to get some clarity. I need to know how you're thinking. I need to see your vision.
Clarity.
One of the questions I always ask, what do you want out of this relationship? What do you want in your personal life? And they'll be like, I want to be happy. Like, yeah, I know we all want to be happy, but what would make you happy?
I want that. Yeah.
What would make you happy? A new car? Okay. What type of car? A house? What type of house? What color? How many levels? How many bedrooms? That's what I want to know. What would make you happy? Oh, I need to have more money. Okay, how much money are we talking about? Are we talking 10,000? Are we talking 100,000? Now, I want a man. Okay, you want a man just for sex, or you want a man who knows how to treat a woman, would love you unconditionally, marry you, and live happily ever after? What do you want? That is the number one problem I come across with my clients on a consistent basis, even when their business is concerned. What do you want? What do you mean? I want to make money. I want to make a profit. Okay. How much profits are we talking about?
Right.
Yeah, I need to get clear on exactly what you want. You see, the clearer you get on what you want, that clarity opens the doors to the steps you need to take to get it. It literally opens the door. It won't happen right away, but by focusing on that clarity, it's as though it's being drawn to you. You start to see things and notice things you wouldn't see without having that clarity, basically. So then when you see that first step as an, okay, so this is what I need to do, it leads you to the next step. And then that leads you to the next step. And it's a constant cycle. So imagine being a coach and dealing with someone. So I am on the outside of you. I need for you to tell me exactly what you want so that I can help you get to that next step faster and keep it moving.
I see. I see. So really, what I'm getting from you is we hold our own selves back by not actually knowing what we want directly and clearly. That's wow.
It's as though
I'm guilty of that. Oh my gosh, I'm guilty of that.
It's as though some of us seem to think it's too time consuming to sit and put thought into it and think about it. But really and truly, that time is necessary. Yeah. Some people think it's too much to do. too simple.
And that and like I don't know. I guess it's so revelatory to me because in theory it sounds simple. Like, oh, what do you want?
Yeah.
But the way you said it is what do you want? Like it's
Mhm.
not what you say, it's how you say it. And wow, I'm guilty of that. Oh, I gotta do some intentionally journaling after this episode because I'm
Girl.
guilty of that. Because I do, I told myself the other day, and I was talking to God about this, and I was like, I really want a house by like the time I'm 30. And that was the only thought I put into it. There are homes right here, all in the neighborhood. There are homes where I potentially want to live. There are homes in the next city over. But all I said was, well, by
On the
30, I'm
home.
27, I'm about to be 27 this year. In about 3 years, I want a house. But I'm like, India, how many, what type of house? How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? I've actually never even really sat with myself and
Yeah.
thought about it, or talked with someone, or
That is
went
so
about seeking wise counsel on how to go through the house process. So I can't see.
that
I
is
can't
so
even sit up here and say I
powerful.
want a house. You know what I mean? Like,
When I decided I wanted a house, I knew I wanted
mhm.
a house down to the lake in the back. You know I have it, right? Yeah.
What? By the lake? Yes. Wow.
Down to
Wow.
the lake in the back. Yeah.
Hmm.
I have it
But
all.
that's all. But
Everything
what
I've
I'm
ever
hearing you
wanted
say is it's
right
all a
now.
part of it, though.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, what I'm hearing you say, that's really all a part of it, especially in when it comes to manifesting what you want, getting what you want, and truly living the life really to the fullest is being clear and direct on those things.
That is the starting point of getting everything what you want. You
Mm.
need that clarity. You have to know what it is. Period. That's the starting point.
Ah.
If you don't know that, you're just going to waste a lot of time spinning top in mud when you could just know
Mm.
exactly what you want and work towards getting directly there instead of going in
Mm-hmm.
circles. The next thing you need, oh yeah, sorry, my apologies. I'm getting ahead of myself.
No,
Think of
you're
it
you're literally answering all the questions. Please take it away. I just want to receive right now. Just.
think of it like this.
Mhm.
If you want a sandwich, a hamburger, let's say you want Chick-fil-A, and Chick-fil-A is at the
Mhm.
mall, right?
Mhm.
You want that. How are you going to know how to get from where you are to there to get where you want if you don't know what you want? I
Mm.
just said that reverse. The other part, you realize what I said there? I said it completely reverse. The other part is to know where you are. You know
Mm.
what you want, then you know
Yeah.
exactly where you are. They go hand in hand. You know where you
Mm.
are. When I say you know where you want a house, right? When I say
Mhm.
where you are, you know where you are in your finances. You know where you are in your career. You know you know where you are. But
Mhm.
now you don't only know where you are, you also know where you want to go, what you want,
Right.
the result. So they go hand in hand.
Mhm.
Knowing what you want, knowing where you
Mhm.
are. From then on, it's like they attract each other like magnets. So
Mm.
you can now get to from point A to point B. Yes, you would have obstacles, you would have
Mhm.
distractions along the way. That is called life. But getting from
Mhm.
point A to point B becomes a lot clearer once you know where you are
Mm.
and you know what you want. I know it's
Mm.
simple, right?
Eh, well, I mean, when you put it like that, yes
It's
and
simple.
no, because
It's
because
simple, but
because no,
those
really, I mean,
simple things hold
yeah.
a lot of people back.
Mm.
So sorry about the mix up there. With
No,
respect
you're
to
fine.
with respect to people holding themselves back, I would say the next thing they need to do is to do an
Mm.
assessment on themselves, on their life to know exactly where they are. Because it's not something you will just wake up and say, "Whew, okay, this is where I'm at in my life, and I want to get there."
Right.
How am I going?
Right.
It's not something you just wake up and do. You have to actually do an assessment on your life. Take a closer look. Where am I at in my personal life? Where am I at in my relationships? Where am I at in my family? Where am I at in my
Mhm.
finances, my spiritual life? take a closer look at your life and do an assessment. And this is another thing, people think it takes too much time, because when I say do an assessment, you have to ask yourself probing questions and be honest with yourself. A lot of people still don't like to be honest with themselves. Like, seriously. You would be there.
That's a
There
whole
are
nother
folks I
conversation.
have seen for myself. I'm not going to call any names, of course not, but I've seen for myself people communicating with themselves, writing in their journal, planning their life, doing their own life assessment, and still they're lying. Now, if you lie to yourself, what do you think is going to happen?
You know what? I feel like reverse law of attraction, where like the stuff that you thought you wanted is gonna come, but you're still not fulfilled. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna conflate all these different things because you thought you wanted it, but you were being untruthful. You know? So you still, in theory, get what you want, but that's not really what you wanted. I would think that's what happens. I don't know. I just these questions.
And then the way the subconscious mind works is like, okay, you're saying you want this, but you're telling your mind and telling yourself, okay, you already have this. You don't need to work on that. You don't need that. So what are you doing to yourself?
So you're really stunting your own growth.
And it's something we do all the time. All the time.
That is true, because I have found that even in my own growth journey, in theory, and I don't want to actually do this, but it's actually, I'm not going to say easier. I'm just going to say it like this. Staying stagnant is an option to take. Like it's a viable road to take.
Yeah.
At the same time, well, let me say it like this. It's a viable road to take for A. For B, people will take it when given the opportunity. Like, oh, I mean, what? Like, it's the if it's not broke, don't fix it mentality. But for me personally, and even my own growth, and like assessing, like you just said, really being honest with myself, that's the portion where I just refuse to accept stagnancy. Is that a word? Being stagnant. There we go. I'll put it like that. But I noticed that when you're on your own growth journey, and sometimes folks around you either aren't on the same path, which is fine, or they're on a different growth path, you really see the options that you have as an individual and how to grow and how to stay stagnant. And that's really a thing. That's really a thing.
Yeah, you do.
Wow.
I have a confession, but I'll tell you when we finish record.
I got you. Ooh, so let me throw a little spice in here, because when it comes to getting what you want, your journey, and hearing about this, it's a two-part question, but it's the same. What has been the most rewarding portion of your journey thus far, and what's been the most challenging?
The rewarding and most challenging are basically the same. Ooh. Because no, it is. But I can change it to something else, but there is something else rewarding. But I got a message just this morning. I got a message, and these are the things that I think I can say are my proudest moments. Like I said, it's the simplest things for me. So I got a message this morning. Hi, Suzanne. Now, this is someone I recently met off of social media, off of my page. Hi, Suzanne. Thank you for publishing that article on the 25 reasons to start a blog. It blew my mind, and it was the inspiration I needed to start mine. And she sent me a photo of her blog. I was like, that is so awesome. Thank you for sharing that. But the most rewarding moments for me are moments like those. I've had moments where people contacted me to tell me, Suzanne, I left this relationship I was in because someone called me and said, Suzanne, I finally started my business. I have been wasting a lot of time. I knew I was wasting time. And actually she said procrastinating. I knew I was procrastinating, but after the way you spoke, I think it was after a live I did. After the way you spoke, I said, okay, you need to do something. And she went out and did it. And it was just, those are the moments that are my proudest moments. and most rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
My most challenging moments for me was learning to not care what people think. Learning to not care what
Mm-hmm.
people think. Because I have been through so much
Mm-hmm.
in life. Remember, I mentioned before I had a business that had crashed. When
Mm-hmm.
that business crashed, I lost everything. I lost my money. I lost other people's money. So I literally had to start over to the point where I'm trying to fix my life and I'm trying to fix debts. And it was just a constant struggle.
Right.
But somehow all these attacks were coming, and it's something that happens naturally. When you are working on improving yourself and building yourself, people would attack you. The devil would send people to attack you in every way possible. But being able to stand my ground and know who I am, what I stand for, what I was working towards, I was able to just turn a blind eye business. And that has been my motto ever since. And it has served me well now at this stage in my life, because when you are building something that you know is going to be fruitful in the long run, of course, again, negativity is going to come. Attacks are going to come. Whenever you're working towards building something, expect that challenges are going to come your way. So that was one of my biggest challenges. Outside of that, everything else is more or less, oh.
I love it. See, that's what I'm talking about. That it's that Trinidad and Tobago spirit that you have. You just go with it and
Yeah,
just keep.
it's like, exactly, you keep moving on, because at the end of the day, if a problem can be fixed, why worry about it? If a problem cannot be fixed, why worry about it? That is the stage I am at now.
Okay,
That's the stage I'm at now.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah.
I saw an affirmations about that. I was reading an affirmation. I think it was on Instagram. Yeah, and it was like, I'm only going to worry about the things that I can control. And I'm going to not even worry. Actually, the affirmation was saying I'm going to focus on the things I can control. And I'm going to shift my focus on the things that I cannot control. Like I'm not gonna go there. So it was, oh, that's so rings true. Oh my gosh, yeah, I gotta take that. I'm taking own notes. I know this is an episode for y'all, but trust me, I'm learning just as much as you are, and that's why I'm so grateful.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick break from the show to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Closet Guru. Closet Guru is an online boutique with unique designs for everyone who loves to use fashion as a creative outlet. Shop their amazing collection of tops, bottoms, dresses, and more site-wide. Also, you can take advantage of their 30% off sale happening right now and enjoy free shipping on all U.S. orders of $75 or more. Go to closetguru.com to check it out. Closet Guru, you deserve this slay. And now, back to the show.
So before we go, please tell us about Woman to Woman a little bit more. I mean, of course, I read the little intro on it and everything, but I want to hear from you, kind of like where the inspiration from Woman to Woman started, and where you all are at today.
The inspiration from Woman to Woman started from my story. This started literally as an ordinary Facebook page, like sharing my story and inspirational messages on social media. This was over 6 years ago on social media. Wow. And of course, from doing that, you tend to attract people who are drawn or share similar experiences. That's how it goes. That's how it starts. Right. But then as you begin to do it more and build, it becomes a passion. You become more passionate about it because, I mean, you're sharing parts of yourself, right?
Absolutely.
So you become more passionate about what powerful. You do. Yes. And that just opens the door and you just keep sharing and growing. And that is how it started. But then I got to the point where I was like, you know what? This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is what I want to do. And so I started motivational speaking And things just took a whole life of its own from
I love
let
it.
me tell you,
Oh, I
when you
love
are
it.
walking in your purpose and doing what you are called to do, you would attract people, things, so much things into your life that is like magic sometimes when you look at it. Sometimes I look at
Mhm.
what is going on and some of the things that's happening behind the doors, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yes.
And it's exciting.
Yes.
It's
It
exciting, you
is.
know. Started with me sharing my story to empower others out there because I believe we
Yeah.
all have something that we can share to empower others. Not only do I believe that, I believe we all could share our knowledge and experiences to create the life, business, and income that we want. So that is what Woman to Woman is built around. It's about women sharing what they know to empower
Mhm.
and educate other women out there. That is it.
I love it.
Woman sharing to empower women. Hence the name
I
Woman to
love it.
Woman. Right now we
I
are
love it.
talking woman to woman.
I love it. I love it. And of course, to all the listeners, the information for Woman to Woman will be in the description box of the YouTube channel or YouTube link, excuse me, and also it'll be in the show notes. So, with that, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Thank you so much, Suzanne, for joining us today. Thank you for joining me. Let the folks know where they can follow you on social media and how they can stay connected with you.
Guys, thank you for having me. You can follow me on social media at Woman to Woman, at the Woman to Woman Network on Instagram, and at the Woman to Woman Network on Facebook, as well as Woman to Woman Empowerment on Facebook. And
Yeah.
once you're there, basically you see everything there is to see.
Love it. Thank you
Oh, that
so much. Say it again.
our website. It's woman-to-woman-network.com. That's where we have our empowerment platform and blog, where we welcome women everywhere, including you, to share,
Yes.
just share something
Yes.
to feed into the life of other women.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I will say I'm a personal fan, which is another reason why I'm happy that Suzanne had even said yes, because the blog is amazing. And 25 Reasons to Start Your Own Blog is probably on my favorites list. If it's not already, it's on my favorites list. And I'll actually link that one below too, because yes. So yes, thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and rate the podcast on all podcast platforms. And I'll see you next time. Remember to be kind to yourself in this thing we call life. Bye.